It may have seemed like chaos, but it was not. It was an organized mass casualty simulation exercise to evaluate government agencies and NGOs on their efficiency if an emergency were to take place. The event was hosted by the Turks and Caicos Islands Airport Authority and was held on the Five Keys Road and featured a number of first responders from the Royal Turks and Caicos Police Force, the Medical Department, NGOs such as the Red Cross and the Salvation Army, and school children who role-played as victims and casualties during the event. The mock event is just one of many held this year by government officials, but the question still looms. Are we ready to handle a mass casualty situation in the Turks and Caicos Islands? Well, according to officials from Airport Authority during a morning briefing, we're getting there.
First, I need to mention that it was an off-airport exercise, and during any emergency exercise, you will have your strengths, you will have your weaknesses, and in the areas that were actually highlighted, we will make recommendations for the airport emergency plan, so that in the instance the real thing happened, we won't have those shortcomings.
Officials say the mock exercise was an eye-opener to the many shortcomings each department is faced with. Last night proved that first responders were on the scene on time. However, there were procedural problems, a lack of resources, lack of communication between agencies, not enough flashlights, said one person, no raincoats, vented another, dead bodies were left unattended, said one medical personnel, and there needed to be better coordination of the entire event, said another speaker at this morning's briefing.
Well, as it relates to the plan, every agency has their responsibilities, and of course, you might have some agencies that will take much longer time in meeting their obligations. But ultimately, is for us as the Airports Authority to see how workable the plan is. Work with these agencies, ensure that the resources that they needed, that they have them once we have another off-airport or even an incident or accident at the airport.
All in all, the agencies received a fair evaluation on the TCIAA's grading system, but spectators were not as impressed.
The hose, when they try to put on the hose and Boston things there with a floating all over the place and stuff like that, it look, organized. So what they doing, they gotta prepare more because they gotta be better at this.
Floyd Ingham, Executive Airports Manager, says the TCI Airport Authority will work towards improving their inadequacies.
It is a regulatory requirement that the Airports Authority conduct a biannual exercise, and that is the minimum. And it is really to test our response to any emergency aircraft accidents in and in the vicinity of the aerodrome.
Ingham says there is no margin for failure.